I don't want to do an intro or outro or any ads or any of that bullshit on this video. This video is just simply to thank Sam Kieth.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you don't know, and if you're watching a comic channel, I'm just going to say you probably do. We got news yesterday that Sam Kieth passed away, sadly. He was a huge influence on me, whether it's noticeable in my work or not.
Same here.
I wanted to flip through something he did on the channel, not going through it, dissecting it like we normally do, though. Just kind of talking for a minute about what his work meant. I went through a bunch of different things in my head that I want to show. There's the Max, of course, one of my favorite series of all time. I mainly own that hardcover, but there are some single issues I have, like the Wizard Number Half, stuff like that. They're kicking myself today because, like, I had a comic collection that was pretty vast. My comic collection now is pretty vast, but a few years ago that I ended up having to sell off. And one of the things that I just fucking acquired was Gay Comics number 24.
Oh, okay.
Gay Comics number 24 is one of the few things that feature a Max story that aren't the Max. It's just this little one-off story, best of my knowledge, never been reprinted. And it was the first thing to go when I sold off my collection, right?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even get a chance to read it.
That's so sad.
Yeah. And now you couldn't find a copy of that to begin with. But
Dang.
now, never going to find an issue of it, right?
Yeah.
So that sucks. But one of the cool things with somebody who had a body of work as deep as Sam Kieth is we'll probably be discovering comics for a while that we didn't even know he worked on.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're still going to get to discover things. That's really cool. But I thought about looking at Zero Girl because that one was really personal to him. I'm not going to say that I get what all the inspiration was in it or even what he was trying to say. Like, Zero Girl is a good comic, but it's honestly a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
But it was a story about loving someone so much older than you because his wife is quite a few years older than he was. So I thought about that one, but I decided we're going to take a look through this while we're talking about him because Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine Blood Hunt was actually the first trade paperback I ever bought.
Really?
Yeah, I hadn't seen these issues yet. Growing up where I grew up, small town, there's like one grocery store that had comics in its Century, right? And whatever they were carrying that day happened to be whatever the news agent just wanted them to carry. They always had like X-Men, but they didn't have stuff like Marvel Comics Presents, right? So I didn't even know about the series.
Yeah.
First Comic-Con I went to, I'm going crazy, you know, because there's these comic bins everywhere with 50-cent comics in them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck yeah, right?
Right.
And in one of the bins, I come across a trade paperback, Wolverine Blood Hunt, that has this insane looking artwork in it. Never seen anything like it before, and I didn't know what a trade paperback was either. I didn't have a clue why this Wolverine comic was so much thicker than all the others. I just figured it was just some sort of special edition. It'd be like a year before I figured out they were actually stories appearing in this Marvel Comics Presents.
Right.
Unfortunately, I don't have that trade paperback anymore either. But I picked this issue because it's from that run. This is in the first trade paperback I got. And because this one features not one, but two absolutely kick-ass Sam Kieth covers. So we have Wolverine and, if I recall correctly, Tiger on the cover of this one. And it's such a fucking weird design that's so awesome. Like, is this a wall with a window in it? Is it some sort of like skyring glass that somebody's looking through?
Yeah,
is
like
it,
a glass door.
Is it like a 3D window in this place? You can stare at this and wonder what the hell it is for hours, and you're not going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
And that was one of the greatest things about Sam Kieth's artwork. There are plenty of people who have unique styles in comics. But even Mike Mignola's style is easier to ape than Sam Kieth's.
Yeah.
You know Sam Kieth was influential on a ton of people. I saw Eric Powell of The Goon post up yesterday something that resonated a lot with me. He said he was thanking Sam Kieth for being so weird.
Yeah.
Because, you wouldn't have something as weird as the Goon without having this guy, right?
Right.
That resonated with me because El Bovine Muerte, this comic I do, is fucking weird as shit.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have the balls to do a comic like that if there weren't already weird comics in the industry, right?
Right.
And I'm not saying Sam Kieth was the first weird style, but for Marvel at this time period, breaking out with this style,
Yeah.
this is nothing like their house styles. People can talk till they turn blue about how Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld created, these extreme styles that were so much different than the house style. Fuck that. You got Sam Kieth and Jay Lee. These are real legitimate different styles. They don't even look like they're influenced by superhero comics, but they probably are.
Yeah, these are like industry breaker kind of
Right?
styles.
Yeah, so first off, we have this cover, which I just love this cover.
It's a beautiful
And then you
cover.
flip it over and you get a cover I love even more.
Oh my god. Yeah. I've never seen this cover before. This is
That's
kick-ass.
because most of the time, when Marvel Comics presents issues or in bins, you're seeing them with the Wolverine side cover. People rarely display them with the other covers.
Okay.
But yeah, he drew some awesome Ghost Rider images.
Yeah.
And then that Cable,
It's
it's 90s excess with Sam Kieth's pen, which just works in every conceivable way.
yeah, Sam Kieth was so good at like little minor details that like change
Minor
everything.
details in these weird knots that turn into something.
Yeah.
Like when you look at this building, it's like this series of little knots.
Yeah, like you look at his art style and it's like it's very coherent, but it's also like there's so much abstractness to it, right?
Yeah.
And like I don't remember where I heard this from, but is it true that he was kind of inspired by like at least with design work on like the Max and stuff, like he was a little bit inspired by like spray paint, tags, things like that.
Oh, graffiti?
Yeah, graffiti.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know to what degree, but I've seen it said that graffiti was in the list of things that inspired him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to kind of flip through this while we're talking. So when I picked up that Wolverine trade paperback, I knew nothing about what creator worked on what title. Stan Lee's name is the one that appeared at the top of every single Marvel book. So I knew his name, of course, right? And then I think I've mentioned it before, but the first creator I ever met as a kid was John Romita Jr.
Yeah.
And I started paying attention to him. I did love his artwork, but I think I started paying attention to him more just because I really liked him as a person. I thought he was a really cool person when I met him as a kid. A lot of creators, at least during that time period, weren't the kindest to kids.
Yeah.
And even these days, when you see kids at Comic-Cons, a lot of creators act like they don't know what a kid is.
Yeah, or like they're above like events that have
Right.
allow children and stuff. They're like, how dare you bring your kids and
Yeah.
stuff, which is so mean.
Yeah, so I paid attention to John Romita Jr. for that reason, but Sam Kieth was different. This artwork stood out to me. I never seen anything like this.
Yeah.
And I've still never seen anything like this.
Right. Like the shape language and everything, the perspectives, how he's able to illustrate body language so well. It's his artwork is just fantastic.
The 1.5 billion hairs that he draws on Wolverine.
Yeah, which nobody should
Is-
ever draw a hairless Wolverine.
And it's common on so many of the men he drew.
I really like how she's holding Wolverine's little costume horn.
Yeah.
I needed to point that out. It's just like,
Yeah, there are
one of
tons
those
of
things
little
that-
details.
yeah, that like you wouldn't normally see in other comics because they're
Right.
so focused on
Especially
the action
during this time
poses.
period. So, as I was reading that trade paperback, I noticed that signature on the cover. You look at this signature and it's so stylized.
Yeah.
You don't see this stylized of a signature on anything from Marvel at this time period.
Right.
And I wanted to know, what the fuck was a Keith? And then, of course, I flipped it open. And, it's the guy that's doing the artwork.
Yeah.
There are extremely few comics I will pick up on the artwork alone.
Mm-hmm.
If the writing isn't there for me, it doesn't belong in my collection.
Mm-hmm.
There's two exceptions to that for me. I'd keep anything that Jeff Smith drew, and I'd keep anything Sam Kieth drew.
Mm-hmm.
In my totem pole of creators, this guy was high on it.
Yeah.
You know, he taught us that it was okay to be weird and that you could still be successful doing it. This character, Cyber, that appears here,
Mm-hmm.
he never looked right when anyone drew him.
Yeah.
He only looks like a menacing badass when Sam Kieth drew him.
Yeah, because Sam Kieth was so good at, like, the shape language and the body language and everything. Like, only Sam Kieth
and this
could pull
is
off, like...
such a dumb design for a character.
Yeah.
Yet it looks badass.
Yeah.
When he's doing it.
It's like that
Unfortunately,
perfect...
he set up every other artist for failure.
Yeah.
Because none of them are going to get this character right. They all look like Bane with metal arms when anyone else draws him.
Right.
That just shows how good it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like that, like, you know, the Max kind of character style that he's just so good with. Like the big, bulky, like, you know.
Yeah, well, if you pay attention to this stuff, everything feeds into everything.
Yeah.
Like, things that you see in Wolverine, you'll see him play off of and build in the Max.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I have a lot of memories of reading all of these.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, each of the Sam Kieth contributions in here are far too short, you know, because that's the end of the Wolverine one.
Yeah.
And then when I was, let's see, 15, I think is when the Max cartoon came out, 15 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
That was some of my favorite times.
Yeah.
I gotta be up with no one else up because of the time that it came on. Watching this cartoon that was so fucking awesome, and I knew no one else who was watching it.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like my thing.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't matter to me that nobody else knew what it was. And the cartoon is a prime example of just how much his style was his own. For the close-up shots where they wanted it to look like a Sam Kieth drawing, they literally just used a static Sam Kieth drawing and shook it.
Yeah, no, like, the cartoon is so awesome because it does so many things that, like, no other cartoon has really done, and it pulls it off super well.
Right?
Like, you could tell that the people that worked on that cartoon
I'm just
really
checking
loved
just to
the
make
comic.
sure he didn't have any other contributions in this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just a back cover that he drew.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. It's a badass pinup though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it has all the Sam Kieth tendrils on it.
Yep.
You know, the little chunks that make up a bigger shape.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what do they mean? I don't know.
Who knows?
I
It's
didn't
just
know
cool.
then. I don't need to know now.
Yeah. And all of the cross hatching that only he could pull off because the lines are so meticulous.
Right? Fucking awesome piece in every single way.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in here.
Do you know, like, how he drew it all? Like, did he use a lot of traditional or digital or anything like that?
I've got no idea. I have a comics talk that has an extensive interview with him that you can read. It might talk about it in there, but I don't know anything about his process.
Right.
I just know that his artwork was great.
Yeah. It's definitely something that, like, I would encourage anybody who's, like, in the artistic field or, like, even the writing field to, like, study up on.
You asked me when you want to become a comic artist whose artwork you needed to study.
And you said Sam Kieth and Brian Lee O'Malley and Mike Manoa.
I gave you everyone I could think of who has a unique style.
Mm-hmm.
An
and
important
Sam Kieth was
style.
at the very top of that. I still have that list on my phone, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. So today, the comic industry is just a little bit worse because Sam Kieth's not in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. So Thank you for being so fucking weird.
Thank you for being an inspiration to thousands of artists and writers everywhere, and even people that aren't in the creative field.
Thanks for showing us it was okay to be weird.
Mm-hmm.
And until we all see you in the Outback.